To most of the Western world, rain is just rain. It's either spitting, pouring, or ruining your weekend plans. In English, we might modify it. We say heavy rain or light drizzle, but the core concept remains the same: water falling from the sky. But in Japan, rain isn't a singular event. It is a vast poetic spectrum. The Japanese language has dozens, by some counts over 50, distinct specific words for rain. There is Murasame, which means rain that falls heavily, stops, and falls again. Kiriyame, a rain so fine it feels like mist. Or yudachi, a sudden, dramatic evening summer shower. Why did one culture develop such a hyper-specific vocabulary for a single weather pattern? The answer isn't just about meteorology. It's a window into how Japan views the relationship between humanity and the natural world. To understand the vocabulary, we first have to look at the geography. Japan is uniquely positioned. It sits at the intersection of shifting global air masses and ocean currents, creating 4 distinct seasons heavily dictated by precipitation. They have Tsuyu, the month-long monsoon season in early summer, and an autumn typhoon season. In fact, Tokyo gets significantly more annual rainfall than notoriously rainy London. Historically, Japan was an isolated agrarian society. Survival depended entirely on wet rice cultivation, a crop that requires precise water management. If the rain came too early, the seeds rotted. If it came too late, the harvest failed. Because of this, Japanese farmers couldn't just look at the sky and say, "It's raining." They needed to communicate the exact nature and timing of the rain to survive. This agricultural desperation is baked directly into the calendar. The traditional Japanese calendar is divided into 24 seasonal microsegments. One of the most famous is koku, which literally translates to grain rain. It describes the soft, late April showers that explicitly signal to farmers that it is time to flood the rice paddies and sow their seeds. During this crucial spring period, a farmer might pray for kou, a beautiful term meaning rich, fat rain. It refers to a highly nourishing, blessing-like downpour that arrives exactly when the parched soil needs it most to kickstart crop growth. If a dry spell went on too long, a sudden, life-saving downpour was credited as kinu, or brocade rain, a poetic way of saying the rain is as precious as gold, silver, or fine silk.
Every stage of the agricultural cycle got its own linguistic marker. Harusame describes the gentle, quiet spring rain, essential for waking up dormant crops. Then there is samidare, or early summer rain, which refers to the persistent, heavy downpours needed to fill the rice paddies for planting. But late summer brought anxiety. An unexpected storm could ruin a harvest. Farmers feared the sanbaine, a terrifyingly sudden evening storm, named after the fact that it hit so fast, a farmer wouldn't even have time to tie up 3 bundles of harvested rice before getting drenched. Even the changing seasons had consequences. Akisame, the long autumn rain, could completely disrupt the timing of the final rice harvest if it oversaturated the fields. But economic survival is only half the story. The other half is philosophical. In traditional Japanese culture, heavily influenced by Shintoism and Buddhism, nature isn't something to be conquered or tamed by humans. It is something we coexist with. There is a deeply rooted aesthetic philosophy in Japan called mono no aware, which translates to the beautiful, melancholic awareness of the impermanence of all things. Because rain changes by the minute, it is the ultimate symbol of impermanence. The Japanese language evolved to capture these fleeting moments before they disappear. Take kosui, which describes rain that falls from high up, evaporating before it even touches the ground. Or niwaka-ame, a sudden shower that clears up almost instantly, leaving the sky bright. There is even Ryūtsu, which means rain that keeps you staying at someone's house a little longer than planned.
Think about that last one, Ryūtsu. It's a single word that describes not just the weather, but the intimacy and social connection caused by the weather. The language doesn't just describe the atmosphere, it describes human emotion inside the atmosphere. Linguists have long debated the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, the idea that the language we speak shapes how we perceive reality. If you only have one word for rain, a rainy day is just a gloomy inconvenience. It's a reason to stay inside. But if you have 50, a rainy day becomes an exhibition of nature. It's an invitation to pause, look out the window,
and figure out exactly which rain is falling on you today. It reminds us that there is beauty in the details, if only we have the words to notice them. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.